Imagine a bunch of people wearing funny clothes and pretending to fall in love, be sad, and murder each other, with accompanying music, while hundreds of other people watch for their entertainment. No, I'm not talking about Critical Role, I'm talking about opera. In this video, we'll be looking at the history and development of early opera, and trace its development from its beginnings through the end of the 17th century. How did we get here? A long time ago, there were a bunch of old guys who made rules for writing music, which they called counterpoint. And people wrote music that followed those rules. They wrote many kinds of music, but most notable was the madrigal cycle, a series of connected songs that each illustrated a scene from a story. Then along came a punk named Monteverdi who said, "Screw your rules." He thought that, instead of the text being subservient to the music, the text should control the music. He added drama to his music through text painting, and started the second practice, where breaking the rules in order to illustrate the text was cool. Monteverdi wrote several madrigal cycles of his own, which he based off pastoral plays, such as Il Pastor Fido by Giovanni Battista Guarini. Then a Florentine man named Jacopo Peri said, "That's pretty cool, but what if we added acting?" So he took a pastoral play, L'Euridice, by a guy named Rinuccini, and added music, creating La Musica sopra l'Euridice, the first opera. Except that he didn't call it an opera, he called it a pastoral drama. It was a big hit. For the first time, music and acting were combined in dramatic fashion on the big stage. But then Monteverdi saw it and was like, "That's pretty cool, but what if we added instruments?" But it turns out having trombones blasting while someone tries to sing a delicate solo line didn't work too well, so he invented the concertato style, where two opposing forces, often vocals with accompaniment against a group of instruments, take turns in the spotlight. Then he got his buddy Strigio to make a bigger, better 5-act reboot of L'Euridice, which he set to music, writing L'Orfeo, another opera, except that he didn't call it an opera either. He actually called it Favola in Musica, Fable in Music. It was a bigger hit. Then a Catholic guy in Rome named Carissimi was like, "That's pretty cool, but what if we did it in church?" So he invented the oratorio with pieces like Historia de Jephthah, which brought the dramatic musical storytelling of the opera to the Catholic Church, though he dropped the acting and costumes part because church had to continue to stay at least somewhat boring. Meanwhile, in England, a guy named Henry Purcell was like, "That's pretty cool, but what if we did it in England?" And in France, a guy named Jean-Baptiste Lully was like,
"C'est cool, mais si on le faisait en français avec un orchestre?"
And soon enough, the practice of opera was spread all around the Western world, where it would continue to develop as time went on, and even become the jumping-off point for formations of new genres familiar to us to this day, such as musical theater, movie soundtracks, Critical Role,